have just a couple questions very quickly for a second round. Just for the record, and this can be yes or no, but do you agree, Madam Secretary, under the IRA, the department cannot move forward with offshore wind offshore wind without basically holding offshore oil and gas lease sales? To actually, you understand they're tied?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Chairman. Of course, we're going to comply with the IRA as written. We understand that it's tied to oil and gas development and renewable development, both onshore and offshore, and we
So
are
both on and off, you understand? That's, I'll make sure,
absolutely,
yeah.
yes, and we will we'll do what it requires.
You know, I'm having just a little bit of problem with the way they're interpreting some of this legislation. I'm not blaming you all, but it's how it's handed down. But the law is the law, and we're going to make sure you enforce the law. Okay.
We will follow the law. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay. The compacts of the Free Association, we talked about that briefly, are a crucial component to outcompete China and strengthen our alliances in the Indo-Pacific region, if you will. Congress must renew these pacts. You've talked about those briefly. They're set to expire on September 30th this year. We have Marshall Islands, Micronesia, and Palau. Marshall Islands has not been signed. We're going to probably proceed on the other two. Is that your understanding?
Yes, Chairman, and I know that Carmen, Assistant Secretary Cantor, came to brief you last week, and we're happy with the work that she and Ambassador Yoon are doing on this. And
well, we're understanding, and maybe y'all can check this out, we're understanding there's about a $7.1 billion over the next 20 years, and every 20 years we have to ratify that. Mm-hmm. And that was the deal that was made. Micronesia gets 3.3 and 140,000 people. You have Marshall Islands, we thought we had an agreement at $2.2 billion for the 50,000 people, and Palau has $760 million for 25,000. And also on top of that, we had for the Postal Service. The U.S. Postal Service was $634 million. I just think it's imperative we get this done as quickly as possible, but we shouldn't have to be held hostage by the Marshall Islands if they're playing for another angle, because I think they're disproportionately right now with 50,000 inhabitants. They're getting $2.2 billion, which has been agreed upon, but they don't think that's enough, or they haven't accepted it. If you could keep us posted on that, where you are and what things needs to be done, and if you wanted to just briefly say why you think this is so important. I mean, I think all of us understand the strategic and geographical and with the geopolitical challenges that we're having in the Pacific. That seems to be our greatest desire to get this accomplished.
Absolutely, Chairman. And I will just say that we have a really experienced team that has been working on this. Ambassador Yoon and Assistant Secretary Cantor. She was the ambassador in that area prior to coming to the Department of the Interior. She knows people on the ground there. And I trust them to do the best job possible, and I think they're really moving forward in a good way.
Let me just finish up real quick, and Secretary Boudreaux and to Deb, to Secretary Haaland, you can feel our frustration on what's going on here, you know, and I'm just fighting it. It seems like we're fighting it every day of this administration truly having the desire to follow the laws, because it requires permitting, it requires leasing, and the permitting needs to be done, and we're going to have permitting overhaul, but the leasing that needs to be done to put things in action is all tied. We tied that to the IRA. You cannot, as we just said, you cannot do offshore wind, you cannot do onshore wind or solar unless we're extracting the resources that the good Lord's given us, and we need it for a balance for the 10 years. I would just encourage you all to do everything you can to basically accelerate, do it on a timely fashion, the leasing that you're supposed to do. It's going to help have the balance of the renewables being able to do what they want to do also. We're just trying to find the balance. We're not trying to give anyone, and you're not going to be able to get what you want with renewables by delaying the leasing of our fossil. We just don't understand why we're having that challenge right now. I would encourage you to work with us, please, on time, get them on time so we can get things moving. We're going to be a year and a half late now. We don't see 24 being very productive at all. And that's just going to basically hold up anything that renewables want to do offshore or onshore in BLM.